Hi everyone. So this is Friday, and what's so special about Friday? Friday is all about weekends, and Friday is also about our live session.
Hi, Mashita. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm so grateful to you that you made your time in this weekend. I understand weekends are
Yeah,
like quite busy
it's
for
all.
photographers.
No, not at all, not at all. Abhi, there's no season going on for wedding. My basic core is wedding, so it's like I'm free nowadays. I'm always available for other photographers. So how are you doing? How was your day?
Yeah, day is good because we're really excited that you're our guest. So definitely, I'm sure our followers are also excited. And before
Thank you.
starting off, we want to know about you, sir. Please tell something about yourself.
So, very important first question. Cannot call me sir. The name is Mayank. It's very simple. Don't tell
Okay.
everybody what my exact age is. Okay, so my name is Mayank Ambwani. I am the founder of Maple Studios. We established this company in 2013. We got registered in 2013, and I have got a photographic experience for like I've been doing photography for the last 10 years, and from last 8 years, approximately 8 years, 7.5, 8 years, I'm a photography instructor to a lot of people. My core is weddings. My first priority of photography is weddings. So my more of my centric work is towards wedding. If you see my page also, you will see more of weddings, and there's a bit of fashion
Right.
included. But the
Correct.
circle, the market I'm working with, it's all of weddings. And I've been a part of more than 600 weddings, covering all across the India.
Wow,
And
that's awesome. Yeah.
it has been a great experience. So I have a small team of mine, which is like secludedly we prefer doing one single wedding in a day. We do not club two weddings in a day. So that's kind of that's I got inspired with a couple of photographers who used to say that if you want to excel in wedding, you just have to do one project in a day. You cannot do multiple weddings. So that's how I've been working from last 10 years, more than 10 years. So that's my whole journey. And just to make sure about one thing that um, in my learning experience of photography, it was initially there was this one thing which you've asked me earlier, that how it went as a photographer in my life, as a photographer in my personal life. So it depends, because this thing has uh, taken every bit of my time and has given me back in return everything which I needed in my life. So that's how photography works for me.
Okay. Sorry, there's a
Yeah.
phone balance issue. Anyway,
Okay.
so it's very
That's
interesting to note that you have been. I think you work all India, right? I mean, you have to
yeah.
get
I
to
work
travel a
pan-India.
lot. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's one of the best things about my life is that I get to travel a lot. Like in a year, I have approximately 25 to 30 trips, probably by road, because preferably by road. I travel approximately 20 to 25 to 30 times in a year. So
Wow,
that's great.
that's
Yeah.
very interesting. Okay,
Mm.
so we'll start off with our questions. So
Yeah,
we
please.
got this question from all the photographers, who are connected with us, and they wanted to know basically about all this from you. So we'll start
Okay.
with our first question. What are the basics of photography, and what are the basics of basically taking good photographs?
Okay. So basics of photography is, again, there's a whole course we go for. Like it's a course which I conduct for approximately a month. So I'll tell you in a nutshell. Okay. So basics of photography basically includes your right usage of your camera, a kind of knowledge of lights, optics, lenses. Okay. And major part of this photography section comes with the creativity. Okay, so if let's say if I'm teaching anyone of amateur photographer what are the basics of photography, and he's the, you know, he's continuing, trying to learn that thing by heart, but he's not creative enough to portray that in a form of photograph. There's no use of it. So
Okay,
basics of
okay,
photography, you require the first, you need to have the right usage of your camera. For that, there
okay,
is a set course structure which you have to learn and process. There are certain definitions, certain functions of the cameras which you have to learn. Because again, there's a difference. There's a part which is called the creativity, and there's a part which is called the technicality. You have to mix this at the basic part to move for the photo, to be a photographer, to move forward as a photographer. So in basics, I'll say it's more of your creativity is very necessary. If you're creative enough, basics of photography, this includes, the right use of your shutter, the right use of your aperture, the ISO. These are the basic three settings. Okay. The fourth and the most important setting is the white balance. White balance is again one of the most essential part, which I think this came into light like recently. It's being used more for creative
Yeah.
photography for the professional photographers. And
Okay.
one of the most basic thing which we teach in basic photography, the course particular I'm talking about, is the use of light, external lights, the
Light.
flashes,
Okay.
the strobes,
Mm.
the constant running lights. So these are the 5, 6 basic things which you should learn before doing your photography, along with your creativity. If you're not creative enough, there's no point of learning it. It will be just like you're doing something like, no offense,
Yeah.
but you're doing engineering or something and you don't know what to do in the future. So you have to use your
Correct.
creativity along with that. Yeah,
Right. So what I can get from this is, of course, creativity is a must. I mean, for this, and an interest and a keen passion.
true.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. Okay. So that's was for the first question, and second is so the second question that we got from our photographers is, do you really have to edit all your photos?
See, that's again, that depends on photographer to photographer. My core photography section doesn't inquire. I personally don't prefer doing a lot of editing because, again, photography has evolved from the real cameras to DSLRs to mirrorless, and it has evolved through ages. And it's not very far ago that you have to go to for a real camera. In today's generation, the new photographers are coming in the market. They don't know how to develop a reel. For example, I'm telling. Okay,
Okay.
so
Mm-hmm.
editing is basically the development of the reel which we used to do in ancient times. That's the same thing.
Okay.
Now, again,
Mm-hmm.
that was about the post production. That's, you used to put all those colors of black and white, whatever chemicals they used to use. But here, today, editing is a part. It is a post production project. Okay? It is not photography. Okay?
Okay.
As we
Mm-hmm.
are as we are discussing about more of photography, not about the videography all apart. Okay? So, uh, if you talk about photography, editing is not required every time. It can help you to enhance your photographs. Like the primary software which I use is Lightroom for photo edit for photo enhancement, not for the editing
Okay.
part.
Mm-hmm.
Editing is done in Photoshop. Okay, so I personally
Okay.
don't prefer. I prefer that we are into that tech zone. We have uh, such good amount of gear which we didn't had at like 10 years back. We didn't had mirrorless cameras. Today, if you use a mirrorless camera,
Yeah.
you will already get that particular photograph before capturing a photograph. You will know what is going to come out over here. In
Correct.
terms of
Correct.
DSLR, if you talk about in DSLRs, you used to first click and see what the result was, then you used to change the
Hmm.
settings. If there is something wrong, then you used to play again, and then you used to get it. But in mirrorless,
Right.
you already know what's going to come up. So I
Okay.
don't think
Mm-hmm.
so with that kind of tech which is present today. I don't think so. You need editing software, but yes, editing is required in terms to enhance your photographs to do retouching. Retouching is one very important part in photographs. It depends what kind of photographs are you taking. Like if I am taking street or if I'm taking products, I'm not going to edit my photographs. I'll make sure that I do all of my work in a particular camera as well. Yeah, itself. Yeah. So for
So,
editing
but
is
the
not that
marriage, yeah.
necessary.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, yes,
Wedding
again,
photograph.
that
Yeah.
wedding photography, if we talk about editing, is necessary. See, I know all of our viewers are from Pan India, so it is difficult for me to describe weddings for one single genre. Okay,
Correct.
so as I compare from South India to North India, in North India, what my experience is that I have to provide more number of photographs that can land up to 3,000, 3,500 or 4,000. In South India, I've not done that much of photographs. They require only 700 to 800 photographs of the whole wedding. Good photographs done.
Yeah.
It is
Okay.
easy to edit those 700 photographs bit by bit, every photograph by photograph, but it is not that easy to edit 3,000, 4,000 photographs.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
I'll not suggest that to you go for complete editing section. You take care of your camera settings, you take care of your lighting, you take care of your gear, and make sure that the camera which you're using the same kind of cameras, because I have seen this problem in recent times that there are multiple photographers working in a team, and
Yeah.
one person is using a Sony camera, one person is using a Nikon camera, one person is using another brand of a camera. So main problem which occurs is you cannot edit it in a bulk and you cannot deliver it.
Yeah.
Uh, Editing is same like the people who are using Instagram. You use filters. We all use filters,
Correct. Yeah.
and it's the same thing. We use presets in Lightroom, so it's that's editing has a very vast scale. Editing is too big to be you cannot explain it one part, that photo editing
Right.
in one single con call or anything. You have to understand the whole section. It is
Okay.
necessary, but it is not. It is not compulsory. It is necessary.
Correct.
You can do it, but it is not
Yeah.
compulsory that you have to do it. Yeah.
Got your point. So I think for street photography and product photography, natural is the right way, right?
Yeah, you
Going
can do it. You
without
can do it.
any.
It's very easy. It's very easy. It's very easy. See,
Okay.
my go-to camera is Sony R Mark III. I use Sony R Mark III with 85 G Master 1.4. So
Okay.
that camera I use, I do portraits, I do flat traditional photography, I do slow motion candid shots, everything. If you give me that camera, I'm happy with that. I don't use multiple focal length camera. I
Right.
personally don't prefer that. And every
Mm-hmm.
professional photographer knows that if you use a single focal length camera, you will get a bigger aperture, good natural source of light, and you will be able to shoot better. So I prefer doing that. And yeah. So I personally don't prefer. Yeah, editing in videography is something different. You have to provide some LUTs and those and that cinematic view.
Right.
But in photography, I prefer. I can show you some photographs, Abhi, in some time. I'll show you some photographs which are absolutely
Yeah, I
raw,
would love to see that. Yeah,
and
definitely.
you don't need to edit it. I don't. Actually, that's in the same phone in which I'm going live. I'm using this
Oh,
phone
okay,
and I
okay.
have photos of this. But I think I can show you. I have to put some of my artists, but I'll show you a couple of photographs which are absolutely raw. It is great. The Sony camera is a great feature. You can transfer the photos right away in your phone and you can directly give it to the client. You don't have to process it. So I personally
Okay.
don't prefer to edit the photographs because you have to capture it and to give the client. And why is it necessary not to edit those photographs? If you have the if you have that eye, if you have the details, you can, shoot a photograph and you can give it to the client. They'll put it on their story, and that's your marketing strategies right there, like on that same time, and that's very necessary. Like if you give the clients a photograph, their photographs on the very second you capture it. So that's one of the best
Okay.
things you can do. See,
That's
there's no
amazing, right?
editing part.
Yeah.
That's no editing part in this. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were talking about cameras. Can you tell us some few good cameras for beginners?
For beginners, they depend again what kind of photography they're doing. What's their purpose of photography? If they're into weddings, I will prefer them to go with Nikon. D7500 is one of the best DSLRs ever made by the company. That's one of the most that that camera is like like I think every wedding photography is at least once they have captured a photograph with D7500. That's one of the best full frame cameras, cheap in weight. It has got a good kit lens, 24-120 f4. So if you have a top camera mount flash with that, with any other, you can go with the Nikon one also. You can go with Godox. You can go with Profoto. Profoto is kind of expensive, but if you are as a beginner, if you're talking about D750 is one of the best cameras, affordable, and it's versatile. It has got good lens. Everything is good about that camera, without a doubt. I have three of them, so from a very long
Oh,
time back.
nice.
So, yeah,
So that's something which all our audience should note down. B75,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
70,
Okay.
yeah, decent camera.
775, right?
7500 is a see again. There's a thing.
100.
There are two versions of the cameras: 7500 and D750. D750 is also a very decent camera. It's a full frame. 7500 is a half frame camera. It has also got all of the capabilities of shooting photographs and videos both. So they both are perfect cameras for beginners. It depends which you're going for half frame, go for 7500. You're going for full frame, go for 750. They're just perfect.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
yes, moving on to another question. And guys, if anyone has any questions for Mr. Mayank, kindly send them in the comment below and we'll be happy to take up. So, next question that we have is, of course, I think we discussed this, but again, what gear do I need to achieve great photos? Yeah, a little bit of that we discussed with the camera
Uh,
bit.
I wish I can show you these. Just one second. I have to detach a lot of things. There are a lot
Yeah,
of
there's even a
buttons you can
request
use
to show
to.
your setup. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Uh,
Someone has requested, can
my
you show your
setup.
setup?
Yeah, I can show you some of my cameras. Like this is my gear. Okay, this is my
Oh,
Nikon gear.
wow.
So all those golden boxes you're seeing over there, those are the Nikon
Yeah.
cameras. These are the orange and the black boxes over here. These are the Sony cameras. That's my drone. And you have a lot of these mag mods, the mic setups, the rest of the stuff. That's one of the clock which is not visible anytime. So I don't see time to know that phones are sufficient. So see, camera gears which I use, which I personally use, if you take out of my experience, a constant source of light is very necessary for me. Strobe or flashlights, I personally don't prefer. because again, you are into mirrorless. Okay, before clicking anything, you can get exactly what you will be able to see what exactly the image is going to be. So I
Hmm.
prefer going with a constant source of light. There are two setup of lights which I use very commonly. One is the ring light from Kodak, which is the
Okay.
RX 100, and the LC 500R. I have got two of them, so I can chart it from both the sides. These are also from Godox. Godox is doing great with constant lights. If you are shooting video, see, my whole core is cinematography. I make videos as well as the photographs.
Oh,
So I don't
okay.
prefer shooting a flash constantly. You keep on firing a flash in the middle of a wedding or in the middle of a video, because when you see the whole video, you will see a constant flash shattering on that. So I
Yeah.
don't prefer that. I prefer you can go with Godox SL300. It's a beautiful light, a beautiful diffuse light. You will get a constant light for all your videos and photos. Use a good quality of lens rather than using a good quality of camera. Buy an adequate
Hmm.
decent amount of camera. If you have, you should always invest on decent camera, not very expensive of a camera. You should buy a very good lens, like some of the best lenses in the market. Again, Nikon is great with lenses. uh, if you are willing to buy, the go-to lenses which I prefer is 24, 35, 50, 85. These four lenses, if you have, they have an aperture of 24 is 1.8, 35 is 1.8, 50 is 1.8, this is 1.4. So these are big apertures which gives you good light. These are the natural lights you will capture. And once you have the natural light of the photograph, you will automatically attain a good photograph. So the best gear to use it, use a decent camera. With Sony, you can have a Sony Alpha 7 III M3. That's a decent camera. In Nikon, if you want to go, you can go with Z6. That's also, they both have all the same range, Z6 II. And with that, you always go with a prime lens. Prime lens is the key for photography, videography, wherever you go. If you have a prime lens, big aperture, you use your body to shift the screen, not the focal length, because zooming in and out with a DSLR, I don't prefer that. I never preferred that. So taking a
Okay.
good photograph, you should know the focal length, their
Okay.
perspective, and then you capture it.
Okay. Okay. Very
I
interesting,
think I have a,
actually.
I think I have a question over here. There's one person who was asking, one second. There's a lot of people who have joined.
Yeah.
भैया आपकी
So,
पीसी सेटअप की फोटो भेजो ना पीसी सेटअप अच्छा पीसी सेटअप ओके hello sir I just let me check let me give a quick over about the questions. I don't think so that
yeah.
people are posting questions. People feel free to ask any of the questions if you want. So the camera the computers which I'm working on, they both are IMAX. This is a 21, both are the top variant, 21 and 21 inches and 27 inches. I don't know what the wrong is with this chair. कभी तो शोर नहीं करती आज शोर करना so they both are IMAX. One is for the video editing, one is for the photographs. So I use them separately because the processing is, again, I have a lot of work to do. I use both of these systems. So this is the whole setup is for videography and this whole setup is for photography. So these are the
Wow,
two
that's so
systems.
nice.
Yeah.
That's very organized way, like that you
It's नहीं
dedicated.
नहीं no honestly not मैंने सुबह सफाई करी है बहुत दिन में लगा हुआ था so
Hmm.
it's not that kind of stuff. I've been cleaning this thing since morning because I have to come live here.
Come
That's the
live.
fact.
Okay. Okay. One more question we got. This is Canon 80D. Is it good or bad for photography?
It's a pretty decent camera for photography, not for videography. I'll not recommend. See, with my personal, I'm not here to give a description about the camera companies and what all they can do, what all they cannot do. Honestly, I had a very less experience with Canon. Okay. Wedding photography, yeah, people prefer using Canon bodies because they are very good in post-processed color. The right color, they show it then and there. Their what you call is the processor gives you so much of color that you feel that that's how it's gonna look. But if in terms of raw, you can go with any camera you want. It's the same question. If you're a good driver, you drive a Harley, you drive a Royal Enfield, or you drive a Yamaha, it's all the same. So Canon 80D gives you a good quality. Again, it's a very good machine. In terms of photography, it's a very good machine. But yeah, again, don't go for the kit lens. That's again not very good with Canon. I'll not prefer you to go with the kit lens. You can take the body, buy a good lens, you're good to go.
Okay. So I think hope we have answered your question. This was asked by DPS 19 official. So guys, if anyone has more questions, please comment below. So we'll go move on to our next question is what are the best settings to use when photographing children?
See, with kids is a very essential thing. I was very young when I started photography. So let me give you a heads up. Let's go back in time. I don't have a photography graduation, or I have not studied photography. I was a student from IHM. I am a hospitality graduate, and I
Okay.
did my IHM from Dehradun. So that point of time, photography was not very well. People didn't used to expect photography as a full-time profession. And I used to do
Okay.
photography for my own good. I used to have a Nikon D50-100. At that point, I used to do photography for myself, just to give as a hobby. I left my job. I left my job in 2012. I started photography since then, and I've been doing photography since then. Why I'm telling you this thing is because at that point of time, there used to be a channel you must all know, TLC. So on TLC, I saw one photographer, uh, Gabriel, Gabriel Smith or someone. I don't know the whole name. Probably there's a
Okay.
international photographer. So I saw him taking the photographs of kids, the infant kids.
Okay.
And since then, I realized that this particular fashion can to be pursued in the form of a profession. So the question which you asked for, like kids photography, is very simple. They are vulnerable. They're very quick in motion. You cannot hold them at one place. You should
Correct. Correct.
always use a prime lens for that. You should always use a prime lens for that. You should always have a good source of light so that you can increase your shutter speed. If you're using strobes, you should use the HSS settings. Okay, the high speed sync, where you can sync your flash to your shutter speed more than by 1/200. At 1/250, 1/320, these settings cannot take the flash, singing flash. Normally they cannot take it. So use a HSS setting, or you can use a constant. Again, my favorite is the constant light setup. You can see there's a good amount of light in my room. It's not just a single ring light. That's it. People use
Hmm.
it to shoot some TikTok videos and all. I use it to shoot vlogs. So you always use a
Hmm.
constant sync light with the kids, so you know your subject is properly illuminated, and you use a sharp lens. Sharp lens is again
Hmm.
prime lens. You have to have a good shutter speed, and if the kid is at one place, I will suggest you hold it, take a trigger in your
Hmm.
hand, just leave it, click and back. The kid will not be able to render it that you have left the kid for a while, for a second or something, and you come back. That's what I have seen with the photographer 10 years back, and I thought that this can be my profession. So I started my photography with kids photography. But again, bच्चे बड़े हो
Oh,
गए फिर हम
that's
बोले,
interesting.
I started my doing, but people don't pay that well in kids photography. So I just left it. I started doing weddings.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your personal favorite? Is it weddings or street photography or what is that?
I see my favorite, if you ask me, is again fashion and wedding both. Street is
Okay.
something which you can do it to give your mind some peace. If you want
Correct.
to make some really good money in this industry, weddings is the core. If you want to be famous, you should try fashion. If you like photography, you can travel, you can shoot vlogs. This particular thing, photography, is so big. It's so big that you can, if you are totally into it, you can have anything you want. I do weddings because there's 4 months of job. I work for 4 to 5 months for weddings. There's 6 months of my life are mine. Like I can, like 6 months in a year, I can do whatever I want. So I travel a lot.
Right.
I get time for
Hmm.
travel. So my job is not
Okay.
centric that I have to do this thing 12 months a year, and I'm not bounded by this work. So that's the reason wedding and fashion, they both are very, very, very close to me. I do fashion. I've done fashion for a lot of magazines. I've done fashion for a lot of models there, like in India and abroad. Um, I was the first photographer to bring a French model in Lucknow and to do a shoot over here,
Wow,
uh,
that's
six,
interesting.
six, 6 years back. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a time. But yes, again, if you want to have, if you want to make some good money financially, if you want to be strong, go with the wedding. Always go with
Wedding.
the wedding. Yeah.
Yeah. And rest of the time, I mean, when there's no wedding
Rest
season,
of the
you
time,
can do whatever you
see,
want, right?
I will not tell you my basic business traits, but yes, I have good enough of my time to involve myself in different skills. You can involve yourself in different projects, other projects as well. There are nobody talks about the architect photography, the buildings and architectural photography. Nobody talks about the product photography. You can do products. That's less of labor work, more of production. That's also very easy. So it depends upon your taste. I love doing weddings because I love to meet new people, and I love that ceremony wala part everywhere. Even I know weddings more than the pandit. Sometimes he might forget the mantras and everything, but I know how to do it. I
Oh
can
my
get it.
God.
So that we,
Oh my God.
I've learned it too much. Yeah, I've
Okay,
learned it
okay.
too much.
That's very interesting. Actually, if you're enjoying what you're doing, that's why it's,
Uh,
I
Very
think,
true, very true, very true, very true. I love what I do. I honestly, when I go to sleep, I sleep with this peace of mind. Like I have done something good. I have created a memory for some people, and they will always cherish it. It's so good to see the list of your WhatsApp, and every of those photographs are clicked by you. That's a blessing. Whenever I open my WhatsApp, the list of clients, list of family members, friends, and when you see their profile pics and all the photographs, like all those 15, 17, 18 photographs, top photographs are clicked by me, that's the best feeling in
oh,
the world. That's the best feeling in the world. True.
that's amazing. So
Yeah.
getting back to our questionnaire, how can so someone has asked that how can I achieve sharp focus on my subject's eyes?
See, for eyes, if you would have asked this question 5, 6 years back, the answer would have been totally different. Today, the answer is absolutely different. Today, the kind of cameras which we are using, it already has they have developed the sensor, they have developed the processor so well that you can capture the eye and they will be holding your eye on the spot. They have this focusing point where this is
Mm-hmm.
purpose setting. Again, I'm a 10-year-old photographer. I still have this habit of going manual. So I just keep the camera steady in my hand. I take a deep breath. I set the focus manually and then I capture it. That's how I do. But today, if an amateur photographer is willing to do it, it's very simple. You just open one small setting, which is eye focus. There's maybe a small, the whole focus area will go very small, and you just focus that particular eye wala part. So wherever the subject will go, that particular thing will follow you, and it will eventually give you a good result. The only best thing is if you're capturing eye or you're capturing a sharp focal length, if you're capturing that eye wala section, I'll again suggest you to go at least 1/200 of the shutter speed and get a stable shot, because it is not about the defocused eye, it is about the motion blur as well, which you will get if your camera is not stable. For amateur
Okay.
photographers, I'm talking about, because see, every professional photographer knows this setting, right? Here we are able to help our amateur photographers. So if you're an amateur photographer, I'll suggest you to use a sharp shutter speed so that you should avoid that motion blur. And whenever you're taking that shutter speed, hold your breath, because
Okay.
I train photographers every day and they are like, they're running here and there and then they take a photo. That's not how you do it. You just hold yourself. Don't
Okay.
run everywhere. Okay, so that
Hmm.
just don't do it, and you will get a sharp
Yeah.
photograph with your eye. Yeah,
Hmm. So this is an interesting thing. We should always try to hold our breath while, doing this,
yeah.
getting a sharp focus of the eye. So
Take a
this is
deep
one thing.
breath. Take a
Yeah.
hold. If you are, you can see weddings is different. Weddings you have to be very spontaneous about like whatever the
Yes.
situation is. So in wedding photography, you should know what kind of wedding you are doing. The religion
Right.
first, the ceremonies, what all ceremony, number of ceremonies will be there, what are the essential family members are there. These are the three very important things which a person should know. I don't know, people take me very racist, and they think that I'm very racist whenever I ask them what's their caste is. Whenever they call me,
Okay.
I just first the first thing which I ask them is, what is the wedding? How is the Hindu wedding or a Muslim wedding or a Sikh wedding?
Okay.
Or
Hmm.
Hindus may they have divisions, so this is a Baniya wedding or a Thakur wedding. So I know those rituals beforehand, so I already know and I'm there on the right spot where the
Yeah.
that event is going to happen. So
Right.
for that, I have to prepare my camera. So I be there on spot first, and then I click that photograph. Rather than, oh, there's the event going on, I'm going running over there and panting over
Oh,
there,
right.
and then that's not going to help. That's not going to help. So you should know what
Hmm.
you're clicking first. It's
Correct.
kind of a different, yeah.
Okay, so I think we have one question here. Just now, and someone, I think someone called Yogesh has asked how to do a photography business. I'm a
Arre baap
professional
re.
wedding photographer. Okay, how to raise a
Okay.
photography business? I understand maybe how to grow your business,
Okay.
photography business.
First of all, get your all printing needs done by Canvera. Your business will do by so well because they are so damn good. I have been getting my printing needs done by them from last 10 years. Trust me, Canvera has never disappointed me ever. I'm putting my like I can vouch for them. I can take a bullet for Canvera. If I am providing I still have around 15 to 16 albums kept in my house right now, which I have to deliver to the
Oh,
clients. Okay, and
okay.
the services, the printing, get it done from Canvera. You will get it. Go for the listing with the Canvera profile. Go with the leads. Just They will provide you authenticated leads, and you will get good business. So that's one way to grow with your business. Second one, most important thing is don't do a lot of work. A lot of work.
Okay. It's quite
If
opposite.
you
People say do more work and all, right?
no, no. See, I'll tell you one thing. I'll show you one experience which happened to me 6 months back. One of my friend called me. Not my friend, one of my client's brother. I did this wedding around 5 years back in Gorakhpur. So Gorakhpur is a small city near Lucknow, 250 kilometers away. And I did her wedding. Her name, I'll not tell the name. She was one very the wedding was beautiful. The bride was amazing. The bride was a friend. Her younger brother called me late at night, 11:30. He messaged me on Instagram that Mayank bhaiya, I need your number. And I said congratulations. He had no idea
Oh,
why I said that. I
okay.
gave him my number. I instantly got a call. I remember I was returning from the airport. I was on call while I was driving, and I just called him and he said, "Bhaiya, for what have you congratulated me, by the way?" I just said him one thing. See, the kind of business I am in, people usually call me in their good times. I'm not a doctor.
No.
I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a police. So
Okay.
people usually call me in my good time. So that's how you grow your business. If you want to grow your business, at least for your first 5 years of your life, first 5 years of your career in this business, as a life of a photographer, I'm talking about, don't do a lot of work. Try to do a quality work. Try to build your client, because people will come
Mm.
back to you because of your presence in the wedding. If you think that there are I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of photographer friends who do multiple weddings. I have never in my life done a multiple wedding. Like I have to do two weddings in a day. One is going there and one is going. I've never done it in my life.
Mm.
I've never.
Mm.
So that has built my client so well that people know that if I'm doing a wedding, I'll be present over there personally for every single function. It's not about haldi, mehndi, or wedding for only wedding I'm coming or taking candid shots. No, I'll be there. The same team will be there. So I did the wedding 5 years back. 5 years later, the team which was like evolved, all my junior photographers become senior photographers. They all were present in this wedding as well. So there's where
Okay.
you grow your business. You have to be a photographer,
Mm.
amateur photographer, and a commercial photographer. There's a difference. So it is
Correct.
very easy to be a commercial amateur photographer. Professional photographer is something you're working for someone else. Like all of my team is they are professional photographers. They're working for me professionally as a profession. I'm paying them. That's a professional photographer. Then is the commercial photographer where you excel your skill and make it your full earning. You're making money out of it for yourself. You are deciding your price. That's commercial photography. The person who was asking is for the commercial photography. As in for commercial photography, I'll again suggest don't do a lot of work. Just don't do
Okay.
quality work, do
One.
good photographs, and you will be doing good.
Okay.
Do weddings in which you get well paid, with well cameras, with well techniques,
Correct.
with well good people photographers. You will flourish your business. There's no need to compete with your nearby photographer or the person who is your
Correct.
competition for 5-10,000 bucks, and you are reducing your price, and just don't do it. You're just
Yeah.
sabotaging everything. Don't do it.
Correct. So this is very
Yeah.
important. Quality is important rather than quantity, I guess. Here, this is what the
Very much.
photography business is about. So moving on to the next question is, what is the difference between manual and auto mode?
See, manual and auto modes is again, that's the same difference between amateur photographer and a professional photographer. Amateur photographers usually try to click it on auto because there you are letting the machine do all the work and you're using
Hmm.
that particular frame and creating that photograph. You know the creativity, but you don't know the technicality to use your machine. That's all auto settings you can get. All the auto flashes, auto ISO, auto apertures. So there are majorly three settings: MAP, manual, complete manual is the aperture priority, there's S, shutter priority, and then one more question. Decide which one to for couple. I'll just come back to this question. I know somebody's gonna ask this thing, especially wedding portraits. Just remind me of this thing 1 second. Sorry, I think I shifted the camera. Yeah. So I'll come to that question as well. So yeah, so we're talking about auto and manual. Manual is your whole camera is under your control. So you can get
Hmm.
more creative, more versatile with manual settings because you know what's your results gonna be. Okay. In auto mode, you have got the less power. You just have the power of the vision. Like this is something which I can click. Now you put everything on auto. You let the camera decide the setting, and then you capture it. So somewhere down the line, your body is adapting with the camera because if it's the shutter speed is very low and you're shooting on a low light, the camera setting the thing
Hmm.
that I'll shoot on 1:8, and you will
Okay.
definitely get a blur, motion blur in that. So your body will get stable, very stable to capture that. You will take that 2-3 times because auto is, again, the camera is giving you orders to align your body according to that. So auto is, I'll not prefer. You can, if
Okay.
for amateur photographers, I'll suggest you go with the shutter priority mode and try to set the shutter as low as possible and capture and let the camera decide the aperture, the ISO, and everything. Go with in Sony, you check, there's a exposure compensation button over there. So you use that exposure compensation to take the brightness and the sharpness of the photograph. You go with the shutter priority, set your body with the shutter speed that you're comfortable shooting at 1/60, 1/50, 1/40. So if you're comfortable shooting at 1/40, your shutter speed goes to 1/160, automatically the photograph will come good. Okay. Then you evolve your lens and make a bigger aperture and get that whole thing done. So for me, if you're going on from auto to manual, you always practice on shutter priority. Then you opt for the complete manual where you know your shutter, what your shutter is. Like for example, today, if you give me automatic mode, I will be like, that camera is of no use to me because I will not be able to control that camera. So
Correct,
auto is
correct.
the body is controlling you, manual is you controlling the body. Okay, so that's the difference between auto and manual. And one question just came up. How, once again, this one person, I was willing to talk about this. How do you decide which poses suits for couples, especially wedding portraits? Okay, so everybody's talking about wedding business only. They're not basic. यहाँ कोई basics पढ़ने नहीं आया. Basics. Everybody know the basics photography. We're talking about it. They are already pro people. Yeah, they're already doing weddings. So see, wedding portraits, one of the most important part of wedding, because let me say this thing loud and clear in Hindi. किसी को फर्क नहीं पड़ता आपने क्या फोटो खींची नहीं खींची है. And sorry, I'm being sassy a bit, but so is our host. इनकी profile में sassy लिखा था. I thought, okay, fine. I saw that. But see, the only photographs which are considered good, the only photographs which are hovered again and again, the only photographs which are put on DPs and everything, they are the couple portraits. They're very essential. And if you learn tiny bit, like 10-20% traits of fashion photography, it will be so easy for you to do good wedding portraits for the couple. Now, again, which poses suits the couple? Again, a very vast science. Your body language decides what kind of poses will work for you. Like, if you see me,
Yeah.
I might look tic-tac in front of the camera, but I have a tilted nose and nobody saw it.
Oh, we
Okay,
didn't
because I
know
make
about that.
I'm telling you. See, I am telling you this thing on, like, there are around 13 people live, 14 people live. I don't have to not say it, but I have a tilted nose. So whenever I get my photograph, like, I make sure that I'm not facing towards the camera. I always make sure I face towards, like, over here. If I have to portray my nose on a bigger side, or if I pose this side to show my nose a little closer. If you would have seen on the post also, I'm looking in somewhere above. Like
Yes.
so
Yes.
first of all, the photographer should know what is the exact body language. That's the reason I tell every one of my assistant photographers, before clicking a pre-wedding shot, before taking a wedding couple portraits, you should meet the couple, understand the chemistry, see how much comfortable they both are in the frame. In every meeting I have done with my clients, in most of the meetings, I think, and 80% of my meetings, I go with my camera, I go with my go-to camera, and I click them then and there, just to make them comfortable. First of all, it's your job. Again, candid photography का भी एक part आता है इसके अंदर. I need to tell a couple of people कि what exactly candid photography is. ठीक है? So candid photography portraits से बहुत अलग है. They're absolutely different. But poses when you go for poses, couple are not comfortable. और उसका reason मैं आपको बता दूँ why. Because India is a country where arranged marriages are still in very much of a trend. The guy who has been working in 9 to 6 job for 21, 22, 23 years of his, like, age pro, he's 22, 20, 24, 25, and he's working 9 to 6, and he's not getting a life or a time span to spend with the opposite gender. And doing an arranged marriage, I know why Mashweta is smiling so much. She can understand that thing so well. So if that person is not getting enough space in his life to understand opposite gender, he will not be able to carry that girl. Okay. And same it goes with the girl. Girls nowadays, they're working so hard that they're not able to maintain themselves. And I got a very usual question कि इसमें मैं मोटी लग रही हूँ. नहीं ना, आप मोटी नहीं लग रहे हो. You're comfortable. You first of all get comfortable by yourself. I am skinny. I am comfortable with that. I'm super skinny. I know what kind of clothes I have to wear. Okay,
Mm.
I have got a good height. I'm 6'1" and I'm skinny, so I know what kind of clothes I have to wear. Couple portraits include your clothing, including your comfort, including your body language, including how you react to the camera. If the photographer is not, he's not open enough to make the couple comfortable with him, this is all about the photographer. It's not their fault.
Correct.
You have to
Yeah.
understand. You have to talk to them. You have to tell them what kind of clothes you have to wear, and then they will
Correct.
come up with this thing. Otherwise, there's a huge difference, because I get complaints about, not complaints, I get suggestions that there are brides who come, mujhe ye wali photo chahiye, exactly as like some things. So I want to tell you one more thing, one very essential thing. There's a huge difference between weddings which weddings which you see on Instagram and the real life weddings. Again, there's a big difference, because the weddings which you see on Instagram, first of all, they're very expensive. The
Yeah.
lehenga, the location, the makeup, the photographers,
Everything.
they are so expensive. That is visually present over there. Here, the budget, the location, the dress, the comfort zone, the personal client. Let me mark you one more thing. यहाँ जो लड़कियां फोटो खिंचवाती हैं, ये पैदा हुई हैं शादी करने के लिए. Their first dream
How
was to
is
get married.
that a definition? Oh my God.
That, that's true. That's true. 10 years, 10 years. Yeah, come on, 10 years. Just kidding. But honestly, these girls were born to marry. They have prepared themselves from years to marry. और यहाँ पे जो, don't mind, मतलब I'm just saying, यहाँ पे जो लड़कियां जो शादी कर रही हैं, इनके ऊपर महीने का टारगेट है, ठीक है, क्लाइंट की प्रेजेंटेशन है, ठीक है, क्लाइंट क्रैकिंग रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज है. They are not prepared to do this. So there's a huge difference. यहाँ की बीच लाइन पे फोटोग्राफर खड़ा होता है.
Hmm.
And he has to see
Got
this side. Okay, I have to satisfy
it.
this one and like this. So it's a difficult thing. और ये काम करके practice, you keep on practicing this thing, that you create good photographs. And whenever I do photographs, I'll not say that it's on a very rude form. I say this thing. I always tell my clients, please don't show me a photograph, or don't let me use my creativity, because I'm a photographer. I will not sabotage
Yes.
your wedding intentionally. Okay, if you give me space, if you give me a good, there's a good ambience to capture that wedding, I'll definitely create something very beautiful. But there are limitations in real life. There are big limitations, because there is this one vlogger, Alana Pandey, if you might have known. She's a famous vlogger, cousin of
Okay.
Ananya Pandey.
Oh.
She was recently being proposed by her boyfriend, and the photographs were so beautiful. I must tell everyone, you go and see that profile. That's one profile to die for. I saw the beautiful photographs, some Maldives photographs, and she's always on the beaches and all the places. You cannot do that wedding in a beach, okay? You cannot get proposed like that. If you will do this, I have the camera, I'll capture the same photograph. Okay. So
Right.
let's not compare the photographs, because people do it. Just don't fall into that trap. Focus on your photography, excel that, learn how to tell the couple to be comfortable more. And this is your job. Because that guy, again, I'm talking about that geeky fellow sitting in an IT company making codes, is not comfortable with his fiance, to whom he has only met twice, and they've been talking on phone like for what, half an hour a day. That is very uncomfortable for them to do it. So it's your job to make them comfortable. First of all, tell them to talk to each other then and there. Waste your time with them. There's where you do one wedding in a day and you waste your time with them, and tell them to fall in love with each other right there. So it's your responsibility to make
Oh.
that arranged marriage into love marriage, and then your photographs will come good. I'm telling you this thing, and I've done this thing personally. So this is a very important question. That was a vast question. That's the reason it took a lot of time for me to explain it. I've got one more question. I think. Yeah, okay. Jana, you can continue with your questions.
Yeah. So next is, what camera should I? Okay, I think this is done. What is the white balance? So you mentioned about white balance. So just wanted to know
See,
what is exactly
I
white
can
balance.
I can exactly tell you what was that. Can you see my skin? It's kind of orange, right? It
Yes.
went out. It went out yellow, right?
Yeah.
So this is the setting which I do for the white balance. So for the amateur people, white balance is basically a setting in which you set the camera. Uh, it is, first of all, it is measured in temperature. So don't think कि ये कुछ गर्म हो जाएगा, तो कुछ गर्म नहीं होगा. ठीक है? It is measured in Kelvin. The hotter you go, the Kelvin increases. The hotter means the warmer color you go, the Kelvin increases. The cooler colors you go, bluish, and the more cooler colors, the temperature will go less, the reading will go less. How it is set is that, you have to match the white color with the white scheme, and it will give
Okay.
every of the other colors will align according to that. Okay, so
Okay.
just for a heads up, if I say The camera has only 3 colors, RGB, everybody knows, 0 to 255. There are around more than 7 million colors, approximately. Red, blue, green is 0 to 255, 256 colors each. Every color is made digitally through mixing these colors. So every color
Right.
has got its own reading. And white balance let you know the exact reading. It matches exactly to that exact reading. So apart from, this is for the amateurs, you have to set the white balance. If you're going pro, you have to have a color card. I don't have it right now, but I have shown you. There's a color card. There are
Okay.
different swashes on that. They have different colors. So you capture that camera with the camera and you get the same color panel. So whatever you click, that is
Mm.
going to happen with the same. Why in the starting I was telling you to go with a constant light, because your flash will not sync with your current white balance setting ever. It will
Mm.
give you a cooler tone. So if, for
Mm.
example, one of my favorite flash white balance setting is 4760. That's the number which I use. That's my, I love that particular figure. 4760 is the white balance Kelvin 4760 manually. I set it on Nikon cameras most of the time and use the flash. I get the optimum color. But if you will not use the flash, lower down your shutter speed, increase your ISO to match the exposure, you will get a warmer tone. That means when you are using a flash, it was giving you a cooler light. So again,
Correct.
white balance is good if you're measuring it manually. I prefer you go with it if you are doing it on a constant light source, not on a strobe, because there are times when your strobe will not reload itself properly and will
Okay.
not fire. And again, your
Mm.
light and your color all really much. And that's where you mess with the photography. There's an instant time, you need a very small moment, this very tiny
Mm.
bit of a moment, and you have to capture it. I'll not suggest you to go with a strobe light. Set that white balance manually on a constant source of light and capture it. And all of my photographs which I have captured ever, they were all on natural light source or constant light source. They were never on strobe. Never. Strobes are the photographs in which I have to have all the control in my hands. And
Mm.
honestly, wedding is not the place where you can have control. The only person
Correct.
who has all the control is the Panditji. Okay, so you cannot have all the control. So yeah, white balance
Mm.
is set that way.
Okay. So that's the question. Then we'll go to the next one. Is it's also technical. How does the exposure triangle work?
Okay, so for that I have to get up and I have to tell it to you on short code. I have to set this thing 1 second. Yeah, वैसे मैं ये काम करता नहीं हूँ, but today I'll be doing it. So please sorry for the ring
Okay.
light. Here's the IE light. I think I can manage
Okay.
this thing. 1 second. Can you see it clearly?
Yes. I can see
Okay.
the board.
So how this triangle works is this triangle consists of 3 basic settings. Okay. So one is the ISO, one is the aperture, और one is the shutter. ठीक है. अच्छा, इसमें मेरा थोड़ा सा basic rule है कि I use this theorem. I have taught this theorem to a lot of people in graphical manner, not in the variable manner. So what I do
Okay.
is these are the settings. You have to go forward like this, like this. 3 टाइप की फोटोग्राफ्स होती हैं, ठीक है. One is the optimum exposed, ठीक है. Then आता है इससे under expose and overexpose. What is these kind of photographs? Optimum expose is the photograph which you are seeing. अभी जैसे पहले हम लोग वीडियो देख रहे थे, तो उसमें I was optimally exposed, I was properly bright. अभी मेरा ना स्किन टोन थोड़ा डार्क हो गया, because ये थोड़ा सा डार्क टोन है, अंडर एक्सपोज हो गया मैं, पीछे लाइट ज्यादा है, तो कैमरा अपने आप सेटअप
Okay.
कर रहा है. And overexposed अगर मैं लाइट बहुत ज्यादा जला दूं, if I go like this,
Mm.
ठीक है, तो this is overexposed. So I'm not going anywhere exposed, right? I'm not exposing anything. ठीक है. So what we have to attain is this. ठीक है.
Right.
We have to have an optimum expose because that is good in your view. अच्छा लगता है देखने में, plus उसका print बहुत अच्छा आता है. So you should always go
Mm.
for a optimum expose photograph. Underexpose and overexpose कैसे नहीं करना होता है. Imagine this is the photograph. This is the setting of a photograph. Center में, and aperture की एक setting है, ISO की एक setting है, और shutter speed की एक setting है. How this triangle works, मैं बहुत basic language में बता रहा हूँ. There will be a point in every photograph where it has to be optimum expose. This is the point. Now people will think this is not the only point. I know this is not the only point. It can be anywhere within this triangle. this complete triangle is the properly exposed version of a photograph. Now, if your photograph turns to be over here, मान लो आपकी setting यहाँ आ रही है, so if you're यहाँ पे what happened is कि the shutter speed, these two shutter speed, ये वाली shutter speed कम है, ठीक है? So to adjust the shutter speed, you have to adjust the aperture and have to increase the ISO. Okay? So that's where this, if your photograph lies with all the settings within this triangle, it is optimally exposed and your settings, all the settings should touch it. For example, ये aperture वाला setting नहीं touch कर रहा है. For example, the photograph is underexposed because your aperture reading is not getting to that place to, to expose it properly. Again, this aperture wala reading goes far away, means it is overexposed. Again, like aperture बहुत ज़्यादा खुला हुआ, तो light ज़्यादा आ रही है, but it's overexposed. Now, इन तीन चीज़ों के अलावा बहुत ज़रूरी चीज़ जो होती है जिसको हम बिल्कुल avoid कर देते हैं, it is the source of light.
Okay.
मेरी writing बहुत अच्छी नहीं है, I'm sorry, मैं डॉक्टर बन सकता था, बन नहीं पाया. ठीक है, source of light हम बिल्कुल avoid कर देते हैं. Like if you see, this is the primary source of light. This is my, this is the window I have. So usually when I shoot vlogs and I have to use a natural source of light, I use this window. Okay? I use this window. Okay? And what all things are required in a proper photograph, people don't talk again, is where you're following up with your lights. Okay? People use reflectors, they don't know. If you can see, this part is overexposed. This is properly exposed and this is underexposed. So where your light is falling through, always remember your light source works in one single direction, no matter whatever medium you're changing. And understand this rule of reflection and refraction. If I reflect my light with a frame, I don't have any colored frame right now because I'm more of a black and white kind of a guy. So if I put a green kind of a thing over here, you will find, if you go digitally and you capture this photograph, you'll find some green tint over here.
Yeah.
Because it has reflected through here and here. People don't go with this thing. And it is not about this triangle. It's okay, its triangle rule is this, the exposure thing is right, going good. But again, you have to understand the flow of light. If there's any bit of light, even if I have a light which is top, यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा it is kind of that DJ वाला type का light है. So what all, there are small particles of red, blue and green flowing there, and what all reflection is going from anywhere it is reflecting on my face, it will show it on my face on digital format. Okay. So whenever you're doing a digital photography, you should understand every light which is flowing through anywhere, it will if it is captured through your sensor, it's going to give some different colors, some different values. To always understand the flow of light. Just to understand this triangle, you need to understand the light source kahan se aa raha hai. If I'm capturing myself over here, there's a flashing light to eliminate this part and distort this part. I'll use a diffuser somewhat here. And I'll use a flash over here. So that's how it is done. That's where your triangle goes. Yeah.
Wow, it's very interesting. Do you do workshops also? Like, do you teach people workshops?
I do workshop with, I have done a couple of workshops with a couple of companies, but again, because of this lockdown and all, I stopped doing all of these things. Just for the safety of me and my family, I am not doing workshops anymore. I've not been doing workshops for the last 2 years. I'm already giving these lectures on call. And one of my students recently joined, Aman Kashyap. He is one of the very few people. He's one of, Aman, this is the one guy, Aman 7890. He's one of the people, he's more into clubs and all. He shoots all the clubs and he has the knowledge of flow of light. He used one camera, 750, 150mm lens and a top mounted flash with Godox. And he do some great photographs. Great in portraits. He knows his work very well. And I'm proud of him, actually.
Yeah. And you taught him, I guess, right?
Not You're exactly, the mentor. No, I'm not a mentor. I met him in a wedding and I saw his work. I just helped him brush a couple of his skills. He already knew a lot of stuff. There are a lot of photographers I've taught from the scratch. There are a lot of photographers. They're still working with me, and they're doing the great. They're good. I knew they were creative, and that helped me grow with them. Yeah.
Correct. Just that you had to brush up a little bit of their skills.
Because everybody know photography somehow or the other. Because we are in a digital age of Instagram and Facebook and everything. I am so from Orkut, okay? So we know we have to capture photographs. You have to show everything on photographs. Yeah, so you take a screenshot or a photograph, everything is photographed. So there are a lot of photographs. The people are learning this thing. What profile picture you use while doing wedding shoot? So this question came up with clicking memories.studios, clicking.memories. See, picture profile 7 is the Sony S-Log 2. I can go into the details, but here we are more talking about, for example, of Array. Thank you. See, picture profile 7 is the profile I use for weddings. Obviously, it's a raw profile format and it gives me easy access to it in a post production. The software which I use for video editing is DaVinci Resolve because, according to me, that's one of the best software for color grading. And the editing tools are sufficient for a wedding video if you want to cover it. So it's easy. For example, अरे नहीं भाई इतना भी नहीं आता मुझे शुभी जी. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So Shubhi is again one of
Yeah.
my. No, she is more of my sister. She's more than a sister to me. Yeah, she's more than a sister to me, and I don't know, but I love her so much. She's amazing. Any more questions? Anybody wants to ask any questions about any technical questions? Because I think people are joining and they're not putting. Thank you, Diva Photos. I'm more out for like if you can ask me any question, any technical details about all the cameras, which cameras and how to click off a particular set. How do you inspire day-to-day of good wedding photographs? Array, I don't know, clicking memories or studios up. You can DM me for this thing, but inspiration is something which meeting good people. That's one of my basic inspiration to do some good photographs in the wedding section. Yeah, because I know in a wedding I'll see numerous kind of people, and trust me, I'm one person who can be anybody can disturb my peace of mind very easily. I'm a very anxious kind of a guy. ठीक है, so अगर मेरे को कोई negative comment दे दे तो मुझे डर लगता है मतलब कैसा होता है कि मेरे को बुरा ना बोले. Everybody has this thing. कुछ दिखा देते कुछ नहीं दिखाते. ठीक है. तो when you go in a wedding, you know you will meet some people who will inspire your work. Right. Other people are my inspiration, and for me, if I'll tell you my side of the story, how I improvised my photography and I learned the best out of it. What are those situations where you use auto mode to click good photos? Piyush Verma, आपको मैंने सिखाया है कि auto mode नहीं use करना. He is one of my students. He is one of the most brilliant people I've trained. I have a pleasure to train. He is one of the best photographers I know in real life, and he has been. If I see you clicking on auto mode, I'll kill you personally. I swear to God. Never use automatic mode if you're a professional photographer. He's too good of a professional photographer. You cannot use auto mode. So about the previous thing, yes, people are like if you want to improvise your photography, start clicking people. Don't click mountains. They are going to be the same.
Mountains can't do poses. Yeah.
पेड़ पौधे वैसे ही हैं. Try to click a ugly looking person, okay, and make him look good. You will turn yourself to be a good photographer. Trust me. You shoot a photo conscious people, a person who is very conscious in the photographs, and you will look good. You will improvise yourself too much.
Okay, so we'll move on to our next question then.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So this is, what is a preset? Does it affect the final outputs of the photo?
Okay, one of the most essential part of digital photography is the preset, or in Instagram we call it filters. Okay, how do you tackle situations with wedding where bride family doesn't give enough time for people portraits? I just stop the whole ceremony. Honestly, I've done it.
Okay.
See, if you are not letting me shoot, don't complain to me. I shoot a video then and there. If you're not letting me have my own time, that I know what this person is actually recommending, that's sort of a very nice approach. Once again, yeah. So see, this has happened with me a lot of times. Recently, I did a wedding. So उसमें दो भाइयों की शादी थी, दो अलग अलग लोगों से. So they were like, इधर की और ये दोनों cousins थे, they were not real brothers. तो इसकी पूरी family, इधर की family. तो that was not a wedding, that was the whole time chaos. And वो एक ही
And you
time पे
had
एक
to
ही
run
theme पे.
around.
Yeah, so there was I was having 17 photographers with me on that day. Oh my God, सोच के डर लग रहा है. So I उनके portraits नहीं हुए थे. I'm accepting this thing. उनके portraits नहीं हुए थे because first of all, the family was huge. Second, the whole barat and every barati and gharati, everybody was super late. The barat reached the venue approximately by 2 a.m. at night, after night.
Oh God.
Then after
Okay.
that, yeah. So I'm sorry I didn't ask. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Shweta, where are you from?
I'm from Assam.
You're from Assam. Oh, wow. Beautiful place, beautiful place. You're from property from Guwahati or somewhere nearby?
Actually, I'm from a small city known as Tinsukia. I don't even know if people know this name or not.
Yeah, I
At the
have a lot of
end, at the
friends.
edge,
I get
edge
it.
of Eastern India. Yeah.
So I'll tell you, the weddings in North India, specifically in UP, I'll tell you they are super late because you have to
Okay.
satisfy 3 million people. Those are your guests. So,
Okay.
so in
Three
that case,
million.
they were. Just hypothetically, I'm telling you. So, there are people. They have 3 million mindsets. So, what they happened was the barat reached at 2 o'clock. The dance and everything, the Jamal went out at 3, and the fairas was supposed to happen before 4. That was the Samurat and all.
Okay.
And there were two couples again. I have to do two absolutely different shoots, which was not possible. And within 3 minutes, everything was decided. All of these people came out of the staging area. They went for their dinner. And then instantly the Panditji was said that I want to have the fairas or I will not do the fairas. Ultimately, I have to surrender that thing that, this thing will not happen and all. But I know the repercussions of that. Still, that client is not happy with me. And again, it is very simple. All of the clients will not be happy out of you. Simple.
Correct.
बहुत simple theorem है. आप 100 लोगों का काम करोगे, आप 100 को satisfy नहीं कर सकते. You're not ice cream. You're not supposed to satisfy everyone. Do your good job because that's how you're going to be remembered. मैं मेरा 100% score नहीं है. I work with complete dedication, complete loyalty. I be present on that moment. मैं उस पूरी शादी में था. Even I cried. जब मुझे portraits नहीं कर पाया था, I cried a bit. ठीक है, होता है. लड़के रोते हैं. So but I felt कि बहुत अच्छे से couple थे. Couple were really nice. Both the couples were really beautiful. And मैं नहीं कर पाया था दोनों के portraits नहीं कर पाया था. और अगर होते तो बहुत अच्छे होते क्योंकि उनके जो single bridal shots हुए थे वो मैंने किए थे because I had the time because Bharat was running so late. So I had a little bit of time to do the bridal shots. They were so beautiful. But again, the couple shots were not there. So time बहुत जरूरी है. और अगर आपको लगा कि time आगे नहीं मिलने वाला है तो just go to the family, talk to them and tell them the essentiality of this thing कि आंटी अंकल आपकी जो ये वाली फोटो होती है ना स्टेज वाली वो काम नहीं आएगी. कोई नहीं देखेगा उसे. जो लाइफ लॉन्ग चलेगा वो पोर्ट्रेट्स होंगे और पोर्ट्रेट सबसे ज्यादा एसेंशियल होगा मेरे हिसाब से वेडिंग में. पोर्ट्रेट्स एंड द रस्म जो होती है मांग सिंदूर करने वाली है ये बहुत एसेंशियल चीजें होती हैं. यू कैप्चर दीज गुड. आई एम डेड श्योर 80% क्लाइंट सेटिस्फाई हो जाएंगे आपकी अगर आपकी अच्छी फोटो डालोगे. एंड इफ यू आर नॉट डूइंग दीज फोटोग्राफ्स यू आर नॉट रेडी टू डोंट हैव द नॉलेज ऑफ दिस थिंग आपकी क्लाइंट नहीं सेटिस्फाई होंगे. नो बट नॉट क्योंकि सबको पता है इंस्टाग्राम पे क्या चल रहा है. ठीक है. सो दैट्स हाउ इट्स डन. या you can
I think we were talking about preset, right? Does it affect the final output?
Well, actually, this guy clicking Memory Studio is so keen about understanding the whole wedding photography business. I love this person. I swear, I love this person. You can DM me later, and you can call me anytime. My number is on my profile. So presets are something. Again, presets in photography on softwares, filters on Instagram. Presets are again is an editing tool to enhance your photograph. If your colors, your skin tone is not coming as you require, so you can use a preset. Just you put one preset and everything changes. I can show you a good example. I can show you a very good example. Just hang on a second. What are presets? Our presets are it might hamper the raw footage. Always use a software which doesn't use your raw footage. Like Photoshop, you should not go for Photoshop because you have to make 2 copies initially to go forward. Just 1 second, I'll show you.
This session is getting more interesting as we're getting a lot of live workshop feel here.
No, yeah, I think this is something very. So if you go with this photograph, okay, I hope everybody can see it. It's kind of a yellowish orangish tone. This is the continuous light photograph. I just have to go to develop. That's the magic of a preset. So that's how the photograph was, and that's how it became. Just one preset. So when you work constantly on these softwares, you are, you're supposed to make your own presets. So this is one of a random work. If I do preset, I make sure all of my photographs are aligned properly. I can, if with this software, I can click, I can, I can edit more than 3,000, 4,000 photographs in a minute. It's very simple. That's what preset will work for you. Make sure you use a good preset means that you should use a paid software to do it. If you're using a preset on a mobile app and that mobile app is not purchased or not the full version, it will hamper the final quality of the photograph. Make sure when you use a preset and you export your photograph or you save your photograph, make sure you save it to the highest quality possible. Like in Photoshop, you should set it to the setting 12. Or when you shoot it, when you export it through Lightroom, you can export it on the quality 100. You'll get the best quality photographs through preset. Presets, the main core of preset is to set, it's a different set which you can apply on different set of photographs.
Okay.
Okay, so for bridal, I have one preset which is named as Portrait Punch. I can show you a couple of my presets as well. Wait. So this is my, I should reverse it. This is my preset menu. So this is my go-to preset Milky. This is my Portrait Punch which I've used on this photograph. These are my elegant fades. So you can see the transformation of photographs go through like with one single preset. So that's how it goes. This is White Snow. This is more of a, if there's a ritual, you can go with this preset. Okay. Again, I have converted a preset for black and white photographs. It's just a one-click editing tool, which you go, this is a sharp black and white. And one of my best things which I work is this, the wedding day. This preset I use most of the time.
Which is this? Wedding?
Wedding day. These pieces are made by me. These are all the names are given by me. I used to like, I cannot tell you all the settings on this because it's not possible to share all the settings. So you have to set this preset priorly for your work. And whenever I am editing or something, I just select all those photographs, I click one button and I'm done. But for that, again, you have to have the right at कि आपका camera एकदम सीधा, अगर camera यूं है, बहुत ज़्यादा zoomed है, you have to take care of it before applying a preset. Preset helps you increase your workflow and it gives you a better output. I don't know why I'm not liking this. 1 second. This one is good. Yeah.
Okay, so yes, we'll move on to the next question. What is the evolution? So it's basically about evolution of DSLR to mirrorless in photography. If you can throw some light on that.
So there was a time when we used to use film cameras. I started my photography journey through a Nikon camera, which was a film camera. It was a long time back. And from there, if we talk about, let's go one step back and understand, there was a time when you used to click a photograph, come home, develop it, and realize that is it good or not, and then you realize it, yaar, ye sahi aa raha hai. So us time pe na, photographers were so much into this ki 32 film ki photograph aani, we cannot waste it.
Correct.
So they have learned photography so well that they click one photograph, they are done because they know how to satisfy themselves and the client and the person who are clicking, or to whomsoever they're clicking for. So they know that exact thing, how to get that thing captured. वो एक shot में उनको पता है करना. Then DSLRs, I'm talking about the time of DSLRs. Then came the DSLR part, which included the digital effect, which added the AD converter in the sensor. जहाँ पे film लगती थी वहाँ एक AD converter लग गया, analog to digital converter. Then the photo is processed through their XMOS sensor and then they are saved in the memory card. That's how the camera works. DSLRs were again a beast of a machine. जब photography बहुत evolve हो गई because everything was getting digital. Now you can post-process it and everything. The basic evolution which I really feel between DSLR and mirrorless is one very big thing. In DSLR also you have to click it, and then you will see what the exact photograph is. If it is underexposed, again, that triangle which I was trying to explain.
Yeah.
If it is underexposed, you can take care of the settings. You can take care of the shutter speed or the ISO, the aperture, whatever. You can increase the strobe lights or whatever. You can add and subtract by seeing the photographs. While in the time of mirrorless, which we are working right now on, in mirrorless, you will see the photograph beforehand you capture it. Like it is like in the mobile phones. You have this tech that you see the photo, then you capture it. That's the reason mobile photography is very easy than a DSLR. Now, DSLR has again evolved to a mirrorless. Mirrorless doesn't have a exact shutter. So everything, it has a shutter, but it is not having that traditional shutter where the light used to flow in that telescopic way. And it is directly, every image is formed on the sensor, and the sensor is showing you a light feed on the eyepiece. So you exactly know what color, if you can change. I also, all those photographers you are using, Nikon Z62, Z67, Sony Alpha 7. I have complete range of Sony cameras, complete range of Nikon cameras. All those people who are using mirrorless, they know that whatever they're going to capture, they will see it beforehand. So again,
Right.
you have the chance. DSLR was a good tech, but again, वो उसके बहुत drawbacks थे, जो सारे drawbacks हटा के mirrorless में लाया गया. DSLRs में they were more shutters count, उसमें बहुत shutter लेना पड़ता था एक photograph को लेने के लिए. उससे पहले वाले SLR के time पे you used to have this habit of clicking one photograph in one go. Mirrorless में you already see what you are going to click. So it is again you have more of, मतलब आप बहुत ज़्यादा photos, your shutter is used less. DSLR के shutters खराब हो जाते थे, इसमें इतना ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम नहीं आती. इसका काउंट, इसकी लाइफ स्पैन ज़्यादा है. दिस इज मोर ड्यूरेबल. इसका बैटरी कंपेरेटिवली बहुत इम्प्रूव्ड रहता है. इसमें व्यूइंग बहुत अच्छी आती है. फंक्शन फीचर्स बहुत सारे अच्छे होते हैं. यू कैन there's one thing which is called as the HDR version of the photograph, which is जिसे हम bracketing को use करते हैं. So DSLR में it was a time taking job. In this it is more easy, more comfortable for a photographer to learn. तो सीखने के लिए it's one of the most best machines, because as a photographer, if you know what's going to come out of a camera, right on live, it will help you learn everything very easily. So mirrorless are the best machines to learn photography. DSLRs again, right now if somebody is going to buy a camera, I'll not suggest you go for a DSLR. Mirrorless में beginner photographers के लिए, you ask me a question, beginner photographers के लिए mirrorless में there is Sony में cheap cameras में, मतलब like economical cameras, cheap नहीं, sorry, it's economical cameras में Sony is not an option. Sony is on a higher end of थोड़ा expensive camera.
Correct.
Nikon में you can go for Z5. It is one of the best beginner cameras, full frame, 24 megapixel, good shutter speed, good solid body, a decent camera. You could get a good lens with it. उसके साथ kit lens पे 24-70 आता है f4, which is again a very decent lens. Apart from that, if you want to invest more, you can go with the same lens 24-70 2.8, or you can go a 35 1.8. 35 1.8 is very beautiful for portraits, landscape, whatever you want to click it through that. Don't go for a telephoto lens straightforward. Don't go that बड़ा वाला lens लेने में photo अच्छी आएगी. Don't do that mistake. ऐसा नहीं होता. उससे candid photos नहीं होती. Candid photos तब होती है जब आप अपने client के साथ, अपने subject के साथ comfortable होते हो. ठीक है? Any camera can give you good candid photographs. There is no specific lens or camera or focal length for candid photographs. So यहाँ पे wedding के बहुत सारे लोग आ रहे थे, इसलिए I'm just giving you कि DSLRs से जब आप evolve होते हो cameras में, तो you will get easy access to learn and explore your photography skills. Yeah.
That means mirrorless is the go-to camera for all the beginners.
Mirrorless is good. All the beginners should buy a mirrorless. Duration अच्छी होती है, durable cameras होते हैं, और काफी सारा ऐसा tech है जो DSLRs में नहीं होता था, और mirrorless में you can get it very easily. How much website matter as wedding photographer? Your website matters a lot. If you cannot make a good website out of yourself, get it done. There are a lot of people wedding के जो websites बना रहे हैं. In fact, I have my own business. I do website designing as well for myself. मैंने अपनी website खुद बनाई है. If you want to have a decent look about a website, my website is not mobile compatible because उसका alignment मैं कर नहीं पाया अभी तक. But it is compatible with the desktop. You can see mapworldstudios.com. You can open your मैं दिखाई देता हूँ यार. So एक website पे you always portray all of your work.
Correct.
मैं recommend नहीं करता कि Instagram is the right profile to give your client कि मेरा ये Instagram page है, आप देख लो. लोग थोड़ा it is good, ठीक है, अपने follower count दिखा के आप client को पटा सकते हो, but again client पटाना नहीं, client को satisfy करना. Professional way of showing your client your work is your website. Yeah, your website is the first way to do it. So with website, you can come up with a lot of things. You can write down blogs. You can write down your experiences. You can share your profile. You can share your products. You can show your collaboration. So that's my website. That's my montage video. Sorry. Okay. That's my montage video. I can get my bookings from here only. Just one second. There's something wrong with this chair. I don't know why. So that's my montage video. That's my photo gallery. If you can go through all my photographs. So what all photographs you're seeing over here? Like I can show you some photographs which are on my website. So this photograph is all natural lighted. This is not done by a strobe light or anything. And there is no editing in this. Like this is a complete raw. This is again a natural light photograph, which is again raw. It has got no lighting yet. This was shot on a Sony camera with the same setting. Black and white में जाके shoot कर सकते हो. You can straight away do it to the client. This was shot with a strobe light. इसलिए backlit किया था. With the backlit it was simple. Again arranged marriage है. The couple बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. ठीक है. Right? तो ऐसा couple वाला कुछ नहीं होता कि तुम couple बनवा नहीं सकते, बनवा सकते हो. You just have to talk to the couple priorly. You cannot just say a couple poses are a tricky job. Again natural light photograph. मेरी maximum photograph natural light होंगी. This photograph is one of my favorite photographs. This was a विदाई के टाइम पे. क्योंकि उस टाइम बिल्कुल लाइट नहीं थी, तो मैंने कार के अंदर से फ्लैश फायर किया with a manual. One of my assistant photographers was holding a flash inside the car, and I was clicking through outside the car. So this was the last. This was the last time the father was holding his daughter's hands. ठीक है, ये कुछ portraits हैं. These are like. अब this photograph is again all natural light. दिन की शादी best work. और कोई बहुत रॉकेट साइंस नहीं है. मैं सेटिंग्स बता देता हूँ. 1/200 was the shutter speed. The ISO was 100. The white balance was again set to manual. Sony Alpha 7R3 85mm lens. Very simple. कोई ऐसा कोई रॉकेट साइंस नहीं. It is very simple to click anytime. Yeah. The aperture was 1.4. The aperture, the lens which I used was amazing. G Master 85. That was 1.4. One of the most essential photographs you go through. ये सिर्फ मैं वेबसाइट पे दिखा रहा हूँ. Anybody can see these photographs. This photograph is for the rings. These rings, ठीक है. Here you have to put your art. यहाँ पे आपको अपनी प्रोडक्ट की क्वालिटी दिखानी पड़ती है. Some of the rituals again, some of the portraits again. ये जो client है मेरे अभी, she came live अभी उर्वशी, ठीक है. This was done through a flash, extra flash on top. Again, the photograph is white. The rest of the background is blue. That means the rest of the background is yellow. The photograph is white. That means this flash which was over here, which was falling to this place, this was throwing a blue light. इसका मतलब इसकी lighting उतनी yellow थी नहीं जितनी दिख रही है. It was the manual setting which I did through a strobe light. ठीक है. So this thing you can go with, like photographs can be done. Maybe most of the photographs natural lighting की होती हैं. You will not find a flash in them. Try to capture expressions and motions in a photograph. Try to capture family members in a way where you get rituals. और एक बहुत अच्छी चीज होती है जिसे हम कहते हैं foreground. एक photograph के आगे foreground. So people don't make a good use of a foreground. This photograph was the first photograph I used. One second. There's a pink flower over here and there's a yellow flower over here. This photograph is 7 years old. 8 years old. The client इनका बच्चा है अभी 5 साल का. So it was a very old photograph. I loved clicking this photograph. और सब raw lighting में था. It was done via 50mm और 50mm के बहुत close hood हटा के I put 2 flowers और foreground भी use किया. Foreground अगर foreground पे light पड़ रही है तो foreground ज़्यादा अच्छे से diffuse होगा. Foreground dark हो रहा है तो वो black सा tint दे देगा which will not give you a good light. So you can use your foregrounds as well, which people don't use. And if you hover through the website, you will find the pre-wedding videos and the videos YouTube से link करा के you can find the whole detail about all the package details. So this is basically for the wedding. If you go for a wedding wedding profile के लिए, this is the complete website. It's very easy to make. बिक्स पे बैठ के बना सकते हो। ये वेबसाइट मैंने आधे घंटे बनाई।
Oh my
जस्ट
God.
टेक्स हाफ एन आवर
So
टू
you're
मेक समथिंग।
multi-talented,
नहीं,
I
इट्स नॉट
guess.
अ रॉकेट।
आप पंडित भी
नहीं, इट्स
हैं
नॉट
और
अबाउट मल्टी। नहीं नहीं नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं। सी, curiosity is the mother of invention. You might have heard of it. If you need it, you have to make it. ठीक है।
correct.
मुझे इसकी जरूरत थी। मेरे एक इंटरनेशनल क्लाइंट ने, मतलब एक थे मेरे बाहर से क्लाइंट आए थे, उन्होंने कहा कि मुझे वेबसाइट चाहिए, आई डोंट वांट टू सी योर इंस्टाग्राम पेज। एंड आई वाज सो शॉर्ट नोटिस कि मुझे पता नहीं था मैं करूं क्या, एंड आई डिडंट वांटेड टू लूज हिम। तो वो इतनी ज्यादा
Okay.
क्यूरियोसिटी थी, मैंने कहा यार ये चीज मेरे पास नहीं है, इसको बना देते हैं, आगे पता नहीं कब काम आए। तो आई जस्ट रैंडमली टुक अप। मुझे सबसे ज्यादा ये वीडियो बनाने में टाइम लगा था, क्योंकि एक तो मतलब साउंडलेस वीडियो है, बस इसका मोन्टाज बनाने में टाइम लगा। आई टेक सम शॉट्स, रैंडम शॉट्स, पुट इट ऑन रिजॉल्व, कलर करेक्शन किया, एक फाइल बनाई, फोटो सारी रॉ पड़ी हुई थी, मैं फटाफट बनाता गया। तो वेडिंग
Hmm.
फोटोग्राफर के लिए वेबसाइट बनाना मुश्किल नहीं, क्योंकि वेडिंग फोटोग्राफी की वेबसाइट में आप सिर्फ वेडिंग की फोटोग्राफ्स ही दिखाओगे, वो आपके पास ऑलरेडी है। तो कोई
Okay.
कंटेंट
Yeah.
राइटिंग नहीं, यू हैव नॉट सीन एनी लिटरेचर ऑन दिस वेबसाइट। So, this website is not compatible with the mobile version. So, if you will see maplestudios.com on your phone, it will not be here. दिखेगा, but वो hotspot सा दिखेगा. But this is a complete full-time website. The website is very essential. Please go make it. नहीं हो तो you can call me. I can make it for you. Very cheap.
Oh my God. Okay. So we
मैं
are
सिटी
coming
आदमी हूँ, मैं
almost.
business ढूंढ
Yeah.
लेता हूँ कहीं पे भी।
Ah. Okay. Nice. Even Pandit
Yeah.
ji also, I guess. You
नहीं,
know
पंडित
the
जी
mantras
तो
more than Pandit.
या फोर्स ऑफ हैबिट, अब याद कर लेते हैं। आपके सामने दिन भर वेडिंग्स हो रही है, आपको दिन भर वही सुनना तो याद होता है, वो रिवीजन है मेरे लिए, वो लाइक दैट। सो या,
Okay, so we know whom to connect with if anyone wants to get a photography website made. Sorry.
हाँ, वेबसाइट, या वेडिंग फोटोग्राफी
Acting
वेबसाइट्स
weird.
मिल रही
Yeah.
है। सॉरी।
Okay. Sorry, my phone is
बस
a bit tricky, just like your chair. I think it's not keeping up
आई
pace with me.
आई फिक्स्ड इट एक्चुअली।
I also need to do something about it.
Does
Anyway,
anyone
so
have any
we'll, yeah,
questions? Just one
yeah,
second. I
I'll also
think
check
how
for
many
the
website
question.
matters. I don't think so. They have any questions.
Okay,
So,
so we have just the last question of the day, unless we have one more question coming up. So, how do you find balance with life and photography? So, work-life balance, how do you bring it
see,
about in your daily life? Yeah.
see, when I was a chef, it was difficult for me to do photography. In 2011-12, I was working with the hotels. उस time पे थोड़ा मुश्किल होता था. As a photography करना was not that easy. First, it is a time-taking job. Second, it will not pay you initially. Then I left
Okay.
my job. I left my job. I came back to India. I started my this whole thing, wedding photography and all. I started learning photography from with a couple of more photographers. There was no set place where you can learn it. So उस टाइम पे थोड़ा दिक्कत होता था कि you don't have the right source of income नहीं थी. Like I was drained initially. So if you are willing to establish your career into weddings, प्लीज बी रेडी। वैसे ये थ्योरम हर प्रोफेशन के लिए होता है जो थोड़ा पैशनेट प्रोफेशंस होते हैं। प्लीज बी रेडी, if you are having your own startup or your entrepreneur, be ready to drain yourself financially and drain yourself with all the energy in you, because starting photography has taken everything from me. On a very personal note, I'll say everything, like everything. But slowly, gradually, it gave me more than what I have. And I think that has given me enough motivation and enough support to continue as a photographer, to make that life balance what you talked about. Life balance is good. Like it's good. If you work right, again, don't work too much, because
Yeah.
again you will not find the balance. Work right, work good, work with good people. Take your weddings. Don't see. मैं लिखता हूँ Mapworld Studios because studios is the term which is used to explain people that this place get your photography needs done. Take care, photography. But I am not a studio. I am a photographer. Okay, so there's a difference between studio and photographer. Studios are running 24/7. वहाँ passport भी बन रहा है, वहाँ पे photocopy भी हो रही है, वहाँ frames भी बन रहे हैं. I don't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a photographer. I do photography. I have my own projects. I have my liking, disliking. और ये eventually time के साथ आता है. आप initially नहीं करोगे. आप initially, if you're starting your career, तो get ready to do whatever you get, because you will, first of all, you will not get anything. तो आप धीरे धीरे market बनाओ. Then when you start your market, and try to do everything by yourself. खुदा ना खास्ता अगर आपके साथ आपका कोई टीममेट या आपका कोई सबऑर्डिनेट बीमार पड़ जाता है या आपको इंटेंशनली या अनइंटेंशनली छोड़ के चला जाता है। तो यू शुड नो एवरीथिंग। मैंने बताया था ना, एमेचर फोटोग्राफर को बेसिक्स आने चाहिए, प्रोफेशनल
हम्म।
फोटोग्राफर को अपना एक जॉनर अच्छा आना चाहिए, और कमर्शियल
करेक्ट।
फोटोग्राफर को सिनेमाटोग्राफी, कैंडिड फोटोग्राफी, फ्लैट ट्रेडिशनल फोटोग्राफी, ट्रेडिशनल वीडियोग्राफी, एडिटिंग, पोस्ट प्रोसेसिंग, प्रिंटिंग तक आनी चाहिए। एवरीथिंग ही शुड नो बाय हिमसेल्फ। तो कमर्शियल फोटोग्राफर बनना जो एज अ प्रोफेशन जिसे आप कह रहे हो, वो थोड़ा सा टफ है, बट
ओके।
इवेंचुअली इफ यू इन्वेस्ट योर 3 4 5 years इन दिस थिंग, then you will automatically find that balance. Like मेरे पास कोई प्रेशर नहीं होता सुबह उठने का। मैं कभी भी उठ सकता हूँ, मैं कभी भी सो सकता हूँ। दैट इज द वन ऑफ द बेस्ट थिंग आई हैव इन माई लाइफ। मैं कभी भी जिम जा सकता हूँ, मैं कभी भी कुछ भी खा सकता हूँ, और मेरे पास अपनी लाइफ के अपने 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 पूरे 1 साल के 4 महीने एकदम फ्री होते हैं, जिसमें मैं
ट्रैवल
नई
करते
स्किल्स
हैं।
डेवलप कर, ट्रैवल भी कर लेता हूँ, नई स्किल्स डेवलप करता हूँ, अपने लिए टाइम स्पेंड करता हूँ, अपनी फैमिली को टाइम दे पाता हूँ। तो that's one thing I think there are. Planeta Digital Outdoor Studio. अच्छा, you're a photographer. Hi, Raj Kiran Reddy. Hi, Raj Kiran. How are you? Do you have any questions about wedding photography or any type of photography you're working with? No, I don't think so. You'll be posting promotion. It's a promotion. Okay, nice. So yeah, life balance is tough, but slowly and gradually you will attain it. वो आपका धीरे धीरे adaptation में आ जाता है. You have to you set your mindset. Don't you know, काम बहुत होता है, no doubt काम बहुत होता है, but you have to spend उतना टाइम नहीं करना होता है जितना आप जितना मैं अपने प्रीवियस प्रोफेशन में करता था, क्योंकि उसमें टाइम टेकिंग था बहुत ज्यादा। आई वाज टेकिंग केयर ऑफ 3 रेस्टोरेंट्स एंड इट वाज टफ 10 years 11 years back I was hardcore into kitchen and I was constantly working as a chef। सुबह से शाम तक लग जाते थे, और वो लाइफ स्पैन जो मैं था मेरा, उससे आई एम हैप्पी टुडे बिकॉज आई एम वर्किंग फॉर माई सेल्फ। क्लाइंट डोंट मेक पेमेंट ऑन टाइम।
पेमेंट ऑन
बहुत, ये बहुत दुखी है भाई, बहुत दुखी है।
टाइम।
होता है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, हो जाएगा। सी, पेमेंट का मॉड्यूल मैं अपना थोड़ा सा क्लियर कर देता हूँ। मैं आई एम नॉट इनटू दिस थिंग। एक फोटोग्राफी प्रोजेक्ट में, आई डोंट नो, मेरे कोई क्लाइंट तो नहीं देख रहे हैं, आई डोंट नो मैं कैसे देख सकता हूँ, मेरे कोई क्लाइंट नहीं देख रहे। सी, बहुत सिंपल होता है यार, देखो, वट एवर योर टोटल अमाउंट ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट इज इन वन वेडिंग, कैलकुलेटेड, और सब कुछ कैलकुलेट कर लो, छोटा छोटा भी। लाइक तुम्हारा ट्रैवल क्या है, तुम्हारा इंटरनेट का बिल कितना आता है, तुम्हारे डेप्रिसिएशन चार्जेस क्या है, जिसके बारे में कोई बात नहीं करता, बट यू आर पेइंग इट फ्रॉम योर ओन पॉकेट। सब कुछ कैलकुलेट कर लो। अगर आपने एक वेबसाइट बनवाई है कहीं से, 20-25 हज़ार की वेबसाइट बन जाती है मिनिमम। अगर आपने 20-25 हज़ार की वेबसाइट बनवाई है, तो उसका भी एक सैग्रीगेट करके देख लो कि उस वेबसाइट से आपको कितना आउटपुट मिलेगा, कितने टाइम में मिलेगा। उस टाइम को डिवाइड करके एक वेडिंग से उसका कॉस्ट निकाल लो। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, मेरा एक वेडिंग का जो मेरा इन्वेस्टमेंट आता है, वो अप्रोक्सीमेटली 90,000 का आता है, अप्रोक्सीमेट। आई इन्वेस्ट विद ऑल द कैमराज जो मेरे डेप्रिसिएट करते हैं, या मैं जो कैमरा से एल्बम बनवाता हूँ, तो मैं कैमरा से प्रीमियम एल्बम के सेक्शन से खुद ही बनवा लेता हूँ, अच्छा लगता है। मेरे पास पूरा उसका फैब्रिक पड़ा है, पीछे मेरे कैमरा किट भी पड़ी है। सो कैमरा हैज सपोर्टेड मी, तो बट दे टेक मनी। तो वो जो भी अमाउंट आपका बनता है, उस अमाउंट को कैलकुलेट करो, उसमें 30 to 40% ऐड कर लो। मेरा मान लो 90,000 का है मेरा पैकेज, मिनिमम पैकेज 130 का आता है। 130 के पैकेज में मेरे 3 इंस्टॉलमेंट होते हैं। 30% इज द बुकिंग अमाउंट जो बुकिंग के लिए चाहिए। 50% होगा आपके फर्स्ट डे ऑफ योर इवेंट, विच इज स्टैगनेंट। और इसको मैं इसलिए बता सकता हूँ बिकॉज दिस इज स्टैंडर्ड रूल फ्रॉम एप्पल स्टूडियोज की तरह नहीं करा। 20% भी एट द टाइम ऑफ द डिलीवरी ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट। जब मैं आपको एल्बम ऐसे हैंड ओवर कर रहा हूँ, मुझे पहले आप कैश ऐसे पकड़ाओगे, मैं एल्बम कर दूंगा। तो ये नॉर्म्स होते हैं, आपको पहले मेल भेजना पड़ेगा, और टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस अपनी रख देनी पड़ेंगी। बिकॉज I don't know. Let's talk to this guy. Clicking memories dot studio. How many weddings you do in a day? That's where your whole question starts. आप एक दिन में अगर 10 वेडिंग कर रहे हो या 5 वेडिंग भी कर रहे हो, यहाँ लखनऊ में, आई एम फ्रॉम लखनऊ, आई नो कपल ऑफ स्टूडियो जो एक एक दिन में 43-44 वेडिंग्स कर रहा है।
My God,
तो
how is
वो
that
टर्म्स,
possible?
आई नो, I'll not tell you their name. You will find. Yeah, basically you know all the names, so I don't have to tell the names. It is possible. I know because उनके सारे albums कैमरा से print होते हैं. They are one of the best in their business. But there are 40 plus weddings in a day. अगर कुछ heavy सा हलक जिसे हम लोग कहते हैं, which is going to happen on 6th of December this year. 6th of December को लखनऊ में approximately 1200 से 1300 weddings होती हैं। उसमें से 40-46 उस दिन वो 50 वेडिंग भी कर लेंगे, वो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, कि उनकी वेडिंग का कंसंट्रेशन 60,000, 50,000, 40,000 में खत्म हो जाता है। तो उनको अगर हर वेडिंग से 10,000 भी मिलेगा ना, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, तो दे आर अर्निंग वे मच मोर देन यू एंड मी इन अ डे। तो उनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता उनका फाइनल पेमेंट आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है। उनका फाइनल पेमेंट 5,000-10,000 का होगा, हमारा फाइनल पेमेंट बड़ा होता है। तो डोंट मेक दैट 50-50 वाला परसेंट करो ही मत, क्योंकि 50% में आपका नुकसान है। आप मैं अगर 130 का हाफ करूंगा, आई लैंड अप एट 65, 90,000 मुझे खर्च करने में, अपनी जेब से नहीं करूंगा। तो आई मेक श्योर कि मैं 80% उतना अमाउंट लेता हूँ कि 20% मेरा खुद का प्रॉफिट है। वो मैं बाद में, अगर
Correct.
मेरी सर्विसेज अच्छी है, और फिर मैं उसको थोड़ा सा एथिकली समझ जाता हूँ। अगर वो मुझे नहीं मिलेगा तो मेरी सर्विसेज खराब थी, अगर मेरी सर्विसेज अच्छी है तो मेरा प्रॉफिट मुझे मिल जाएगा। अल्टीमेटली आई एम नॉट एट लॉस। तो और ये
Correct.
चीज ऐसा नहीं है कि मेरे को अभी कल परसों पता चली है। दिस थिंग आई हैव इवॉल्व्ड थ्रू टाइम। और ऐसा नहीं मेरा पेमेंट पहले कहीं खत्म नहीं है, कहीं कहीं फंसा नहीं है, बिकॉज योर क्लाइंट विल नॉट अंडरस्टैंड हाउ मच यू हैव इन्वेस्टेड इन द गियर which is kept here। यहाँ पे अराउंड 65-70 लाख का गियर पड़ा हुआ है। ये बॉक्सेस थे खाली, खाली है, मतलब वैसे मेरा गियर मेरे बैग्स में है, ठीक है। तो ये गियर का जो डेप्रिसिएशन होता है, अगर वो हम 1 या 2% का भी लेकर चले ना, तो इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल फॉर एवरीवन टू पे। सो यू हैव टू मेक श्योर कि आपका मार्जिन बहुत स्ट्रांग हो, ठीक है। मेरी वेडिंग्स की स्टार्टिंग प्राइस 130 होती है और एंड अप करती है 2.5 तक, 2.5, 2.6, 200 अकॉर्डिंग टू द रिक्वायरमेंट। और लोकल वेडिंग्स लखनऊ की, इफ आई एम गोइंग आउटसाइड द लखनऊ, तो उसके चार्जेस बढ़ेंगे। यू कैन नॉट अफोर्ड एवरीथिंग, ठीक है। एंड ट्राई नॉट टू गिव अननेसेसरी डिस्काउंट्स। अगर आप 5,000 का डिस्काउंट दे रहे हो ना, तो मैं आपको एक बात बता दूं, निकॉन की बैटरी आती है 3800 की बैटरी आती है, निकॉन की EL15। सो डोंट गिव दैट डिस्काउंट ऑनेस्टली, बिकॉज अगेन आप डिस्काउंट दोगे, कोई और डिस्काउंट देगा, और जो साथ की वेडिंग फ्रेटर्निटी है ना, इसको कहीं ना कहीं लॉस होगा। और पीपल विल थिंक यार ये काम सस्ते में हो सकता है। तो सस्ते में कुछ नहीं हो रहा यार, एवरीबॉडी इज गेटिंग पेड, सबका काम है। एक सेट पैरामीटर रखो कि इतना इतना मेरे कॉस्टिंग आ रही है, उसकी 30-40% एड ऑन करो, और 30-50-20 के परसेंटेज के ब्याज पे एक ड्राफ्ट करो मेल और भेज दो कि इतना परसेंट मेरे को बुकिंग अमाउंट चाहिए, और इतना मेरा फर्स्ट डे ऑफ इवेंट पे होगा। मैं लास्ट डे आपके पास नहीं आऊँगा बिकॉज आप बिजी हो जाओगे, मैं नहीं हो पाऊंगा, ठीक है। आई हैव टू बी फॉर ऑन द शूट, तो मैं फर्स्ट डे ही कर लूंगा आपका पेमेंट। तो टेक दैट पेमेंट फर्स्ट डे। एंड यू आर इनटू अ वेडिंग फ्रेटर्निटी, यू आर इनटू अ वेडिंग बिजनेस, तो मेक श्योर, क्योंकि पंडित की दक्षिणा नहीं मरती, मेकअप पार्लर का पेमेंट पूरा हो जाता है, जो डेकोरेशन वाला वो पूरा पैसे लेकर जाता है, केटरर का खाना खराब हो, गोइंग सर्विसेज फॉर फ्री। एंड ऑनेस्टली आई पर्सनली हेट, मेरे को कोई पैसे के लिए ऐसा ट्रॉमेटाइज करता है, मैं थोड़ा सा सटक जाता हूँ। पैसे पूरे दो तो मैं काम करता हूँ आगे। ऑब्वियसली एवरीबडी इज वर्किंग, तो इफ यू हैव टू मेक ए बैलेंस इन लाइफ, मेक श्योर यू वुड correct money for the time you're investing in a wedding. You should get good money out of it. If I am doing a wedding, I am giving my time, at least I need that much amount of money which can be like, अगर मैं उसको पूरा कैलकुलेट करूँ, मेरा प्रॉफिट जो मेरे अकाउंट पे, पर्सनल अकाउंट में आता है, मेरी कंपनी के अकाउंट से मेरे अकाउंट, मेरी सैलरी जो बन के आती है, वो ऑलमोस्ट सेम हो जाती है। सो देयर इज वन मोर क्लाइंट ऑफ माइन हु हैज जॉइंड रिसेंटली, स्वीटी। हेलो, हाय तनिष्का, हाउ आर यू? अभी मैंने इनकी वेडिंग करी थी, सम ग्रेट फोटोग्राफ्स, वेरी स्वीट कपल, दे आर इन ऑस्ट्रेलिया राइट नाउ। Any other questions, anyone, please? I think this person has left the question and gone somewhere else.
Okay.
It was a fun session though. It was a fun session. It was good to see a lot of people talking about taking some serious questions. This person is right. I'll follow him back, clicking.memories.studios. Nice one. And please
Okay,
send your
so we
name.
are,
Yeah.
yeah, so clicks and memories, please send your name so that he can follow you. And we are almost to the end of the session, and काफी interesting session था, to be honest. Mostly I felt like I'm attending a workshop, to be honest. So I was also involved in knowing the nuances of photography. Who knows, I might also start getting into photography soon.
Can't hear you. Should I can't hear you?
Can you hear me now?
You're not audible. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. My phone is going crazy today. Yeah. So I was just saying we're towards the end of the session, and it was an interesting session. And I felt that it was more like a workshop rather than a session, because we learned a lot. And, I feel I should take up photography as a hobby very soon. Not as a hobby, but
You should.
yeah, I should start up. Yeah, I should start that. So yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayank, for joining us. And it was such an insightful session. In fact, you shared such stories with us, which was so interesting. So thank
And
you, everyone. Yeah.
I want to end it with one thing that I really want to thank Canvera for this thing, not for this session, but the kind of loyalty and the kind of commitment Canva has always given to their photographers, their partner photographers, to the clients. If you are not a photographer, you can go to youre.com, which is through Canva. It's a place where you can get all your printing needs done. The quality is amazing, I swear to God. I have gifted a couple of things from Geography as a not as a photographer, as a common man, and I customize a small baby. I have done it a lot of times because it's one of the most cheap and best way to get good photographs. Because the quality of the photographs, the quality of the product which are there on the albums which you get print and from that particular geography is both are the same. The quality of the work is same, and without a doubt, they have delivered such a beautiful product. Just on the 30th of April this year, I went to a very old college friend. I clicked his daughter's photographs 3, 4 years back. I sent that small album, it was 550 or 600 ka tha. I sent that album to him, and his wife was so happy to show me that album because मैंने वो देखा भी नहीं था. वो album मैंने नहीं देखा था. And वो photos, उसमें the way they were put and the way they were printed, they were so beautiful. They were so colorful. They were so amazing. मुझे लग रहा था कि मेरी फोटोग्राफ which I've clicked, they were like adequate. The printing was so that good. इतना ज़्यादा अच्छा लगा था. They were so happy to see that. कभी कभी आप होता है ना कुछ किसी को कुछ भेजते हो आपने खुद भी वो नहीं देखा वो क्या भेजते हैं. But Canva has
Correct.
delivered every time. Canva has been so loyal to me. Canva has been giving me always great support. छोटा सा प्रॉब्लम अगर शिपमेंट में भी हो जाता है तो कैमरा टेक्स द होल रिस्पांसिबिलिटी समटाइम्स एंड आई एम सो हैप्पी दैट आई इन द स्टार्टिंग ऑफ माय जर्नी one of my sales representative, he's not there in this world right now, Neeraj Chaturvedi. He was one of the best people in Canva I ever know, and there's one reason I've never left Canva was Neeraj. I was young and he said कि मैं भैया आप करियर शुरू करो जब दुनिया में कोई नहीं होगा ना आपके साथ मैं हमेशा आपके साथ खड़ा रहूंगा. एंड आई डोंट नो व्हाई आई नीरज वाज ऑलवेज देयर विद मी. Still I feel he's more of a brother. He was from Canberra, and still all the sales representative I have been with, there were around 5 to 6 sales representative after Neeraj who have attended me. They were all beautiful. They were all amazing people, and they have always supported me. Like Canberra has always been the best business partner I can ever have. And that's one thing I want to say. I thank you, Canva. Thank you so much. Thank you for putting my photograph so well.
And thank you for considering us as your print partner for life. I'm sure it will be for life, right?
Your name is written on my standee, by the way. I have a standee which is there on every of my event, and it is strictly written. We consider Canva as our printing partner for every need. So I make my printing done from you guys. All the photographs which are printed in my house, even my personal photographs are printed by Canva. So that's good. It is that good.
So, okay, thank you once again, Mr. Mayank, and we'll just conclude the session. Thank you everyone for joining in a weekend. I know everyone has plans, but you gave us this time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. And oh yeah, one more thing, just I wanted to just share with everyone, please join our community group, Facebook community group, because we will have more of interesting discussions there. So I would request sir also to join our community group. That's the Facebook community group that we have.
I'm already a part of.
Okay, you're already a part. Okay. So everyone can join into that community groups that is Canvera Photographers Community.
Yes.
Okay.
See you.
So thank you everyone. Have a great time ahead, and thank you sir. It was really nice having you here.
Thank you so much.